All right, welcome everybody to this edition of the Master Implementers interview series. So today, right, we have Mr. Thaddaeus Koh, right? So Thaddaeus is someone that actually, right, for those who don't know, right, he's one of the first few people that actually taught me digital marketing, man. And he's like many years younger than me as well. Someone I'm very grateful to, right? And he's someone who's constantly learns, constantly grows, right? And his mindset, right, is extremely intelligent, as you get to know for this interview today, right? So firstly, Ted, welcome to this show. All right, and can you just share, start off the interview just by sharing a little bit of what you are and what you do today?
Hi Mark, thanks for bringing me onto your show. So my name is Ted, founder of this company called TBA, the Bullish Agency. So we serve financial education companies, coaches to grow and scale their business, marketing and also build offers at the back. So have been doing. I have been into this business for quite a while. I'd say probably started like maybe 2 or 3 years back. Right now, I lead a small team of five, including me. A few of it is full time, few part time, and we're serving. Incredibly blessed to serve really great clients who are very good business people, very fun to work with. I think one thing I like about our clients is that they are really focused on their products. And that's what they do best, and then we're just here to help them amplify, scale their business.
Yeah,
So
so
that's basically what we do.
yeah, so basically the people you serve, right, I know they are very top of the game, right? Some of them probably sound familiar, right, to a lot of people watching this, right? But can you just share a little bit about how did your journey into entrepreneurship and digital marketing get started in the space, right? Because I know some of the history that you were considering to drop out school, you took a gap year, but now you're like, no, I'm going to do this full time. So
Yeah.
share a little bit about how did it get started and how do you get to where you are today, leading a team of five at such a young age for yourself.
Okay. Cool. So it started quite. I would say probably I think 2018, if not a bit earlier. So I was in army. I was in army. In fact, I just ORD from army, and then I had like a couple of like quite a break in between from like at the point where I ORD to my enrollment into university SMU. So it was about, if I'm not wrong, about 7-8 months, quite a break. So I started. I was a bit of. Oh yeah, one thing I realized is I was almost broke. So in army, I was like kind of like overspending. I was like going clubs every week. Yeah,
Wow.
and after I realized I was broke. So I was trying to find ways to get at least like a part-time job or have at least like a side income on the internet. I was generally an introvert, so I prefer to kind of see if like, there are ways to make money on the internet.
Yep.
And then I was like, that's where I came into like a bit of I can make money from surveys, all the kind of things. I started to explore a lot of weird things. So I went on to intern for quite a while, a few of the education companies, and started to pick up a few skill sets. One of which was the first skill set which I started really learning was videography. Videography, and yeah, so I learned how to use the Sony uh, A64.
Yeah.
Yeah, A64. So A64, I started learning like Final Cut and all those kind of things. So my first like real business was actually selling videography services.
Wow.
I started yeah, so I feel I was filming in fact I had two clients
Yeah.
for to film wedding services, wedding
Oh,
filming.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you know that. So
Yeah.
one was a referral, one was Chris and Jen. I don't know if you know them, probably, right? So
Yes, yes.
I started out. Then after I realized it wasn't exactly my passion, because every time I had to go out and shoot, I had to bring a lot of gears, right?
Yeah.
There's not only a camera. Everyone knows not just a camera. You got your mic. You got to bring like multiple cameras. You got to bring like your stabilizer and everything. It was very draining for me. Yeah, so it was at that period of time I was still interning, and was kind of like finding like what's a good way to get like income. So afterwards I started to enroll in uni SMU first year, and that was where I started to go deeper into marketing. So uh helping clients grow. I think I started off mainly with Facebook ads. Facebook ads are very cliche, but I started off as that, and then I was still kind of trying to find my footing in like the hustle kind of mentality. Trying to find like a side hustle, like an actual side hustle, not just freelance that is always unpredictable. So I started trying out drop shipping also, like drop shipping, Amazon FBA. I think I just try to sell weird services. I even tried one point of time, I was like so tired of it. I tried to go into the insurance business.
Wow, I didn't know that, man. So you're experimenting like crazy, right? Just different ways
Yeah.
to generate some form of income for yourself.
Yeah. So it's just like all over the place. At that point, I was all over the place, but I was getting a lot of experience in terms of the industry, understanding the ins and outs of, let's say, marketing, drop shipping, and all those kind of things. Um, so after a while, I realized that yeah, marketing was something that I really liked,
Mm.
but I didn't know exactly what am I supposed to market.
Yeah.
I like marketing in general, but I don't know what am I supposed to market. And then I realized a few of my network started like approaching me to help them market their services, their products. And that's where I really started got my footing.
Mm.
In fact, I think just one thing which I forgot to bring up was
Yeah.
because my first ever like try to make money online was actually through stock market.
Okay.
Through the stock market. And then I was attending this course. And one of the sessions, I think it was day one, where they asked the students to set financial goals.
Yeah.
It could be a 1 year goal, 4 year, 5 year, 10 year goal, whatever. So all my people, I wrote down, I wanted to make like 100K by the end of uni. So that's about 4 years ish later. So basically, we have to share our goals and vision. Like I think with our
Partners and
co-partners and students, right? And then this person, which I'm really grateful for, they asked this question. He asked, why not try to achieve this goal in 1 year? Then it's like I think that was the point where like things started changing, shifted my perspective because I didn't know it was actually doable for my age. So yeah, that's the point I started to like kind of search online how do I make like 6 figures in 1 year. And then yeah, this way I stumbled into a lot of business models,
yeah.
drop shipping, insurance. I mean all of it I think is doable. It's just which one you want to stick with. So yeah, I eventually start with marketing, but I didn't know exactly what to market. So I think that was the point where I started to have a few friends approach me to market their services and products. Yeah, so I think we generally gotten a few results for them. So yeah, I thought that was like my main thing. I thought I finally found my main thing until I went to real life, which is I tried to find clients outside. That means not in my network. So my first ever client I tried to approach was dental clinics.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I still remember the moment because I didn't know exactly how to approach them. I didn't know, should I call them, should I email them, should I go down to their clinic and ask them specifically. I didn't know who is the owner, because if I go down to the clinic, there's a very high chance that the owner is not in the clinic.
Yeah.
So a few things I did to approach or to sell out my services to clinics. First one was I actually sent out cold email. So I went to subscribe to a MailChimp.
Oh,
MailChimp.
yeah.
Subscribe
Free.
MailChimp. Yeah, so I collated like I can't remember, I think 10 or 20 emails, and then I just like send out a few emails.
Yeah.
That was one approach. I think I got like 1 or 2 replies. So a few of them asked, "What's your services?" or "Sorry, I'm not interested," or "We already have someone." So there's like 1 or 2 only, and then the one that asked me how much was my service, I quoted like I think 1,000 ish.
Yeah.
Then after that, she said no, thank you.
Instant no.
Yeah. So that's my kind of like my first failure.
Yeah.
So I also, I mean, apart from cold email, I didn't really have a chance to like actually progress
Yeah.
the sales process, but I also tried to walk into clinics and
Just
like
ask about it.
just ask. So one of the weird things that happened that I tried was because at the point of studying SMU,
Yeah.
SMU had a dental clinic, right? And I can't remember what exactly it's called. Maybe y'all can Google, whoever's watching. But I try to walk in and explain to them that I'm actually looking for clients and if they would like to get more
Business.
business. And then they say, no, this is just I say, I'm just a receptionist or whatever.
Yeah.
And they say, go and email to this person. I give email to this email address. So I email and there was no reply. So I was a bit disappointed because I remember I stood at least 15 minutes to half an hour outside the clinic
Yeah.
trying to rehearse my script.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was pretty embarrassing. But short answer, I mean, yeah, I managed to
Push through
and get actually one dental a client,
Yeah.
and I had to sell it for free. So it's like
Oh,
a free
okay.
trial. It's like a free
Yeah.
trial just to get my portfolio up. So I had to sell
Yeah.
it for free, and it was not easy.
Yeah.
Sell things for free because
Yeah.
I also had had to spend their ad budget.
Yeah, so I guess
So
I'll just ask you very quickly, right? So what kept you going despite all the failures and all? So I know you wrote about financial freedom, right? But I'm sure that it sounds very sexy when you're writing it down. But when you go through the process and journey, right, it probably feels like crap, right? That you get rejected, people don't reply you. So what were some of the things you told yourself to keep yourself going, or what you did to like just keep the fire going, at least during that period of time?
I think it was the first question that because this person called Caleb, right? He asked me why not try making like 6 figures a year.
Yeah.
So I think that question really struck me
Mm.
in the sense that I didn't know that was possible for someone my age, and I wanted to make that a reality
Happy, yeah.
because I don't know, I don't really see people around me my age achieving that. So I'm actually quite adventurous person, or I like to be challenged. So I think that's one part. Second part is also I mean, before that, I attended a few investing courses. So
Yeah.
a lot of them talk about like financial freedom
Yeah.
and achieving financial, at least financial independence at an early age. So I mean, by the theory of compounding, so long I follow or so long I put certain amount of money in the stock market, I think like the compounding effect will do its
Yeah.
work. So I just like trusted the process. Whatever I try to make, I try to put into stock market, and yeah, I guess that was what kept me going. And I think uh generally speaking, I was also kind of motivated as I saw like progress along the way. So example, when I
Mm.
sent out the first 10 to 20 emails, so like I got the first reply, I was kind of happy. I was kind of happy.
Okay.
So I think it's those like mini progress which kept me or told me that I was doing something right lah, at least in that general direction. So I think that was what came pushing that this could be uh or that could be
Something worth
something
pursuing.
that was waiting for me at the end of the road. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. So is it really about like, I mean, you have a big why, right? And I think I love the fact that you mentioned that, oh, I love to be challenged, right? So a lot of people
Yeah.
tell you probably can't be doing it, but like, shit, I'm gonna do it, right? So I guess the next question is, what made you decide to say, first I know you took a gap year, right? After that, it's like, nah, I'm not gonna go back to school. So how did you like make that decision, and what were some of the fears, or how do you overcome the fear of actually being a full-time entrepreneur at such a young age, right? Where there wasn't much stability, and how do you get to this space where you are right now?
Honestly, I don't think I was that bold. Because that was why I took a gap year. In fact, I didn't take one gap year. I took like a couple of gap years.
Yeah.
If I finally told the school that I'm quitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in my first year of uni, I was like kind of still doing the side hustle, still selling marketing services, servicing a few clients, and I started getting a bit of traction. But it was like, I mean, sometimes my income was good on certain months, sometimes it was like zero. So I wasn't like exactly confident that okay, let's say I quit school,
Mm.
I can like do this full time.
Yeah.
So that's why I decided to
Just take a gap year first.
take a gap year and then really focus on, because at that point of time I was like trying to balance between projects, projects in school, and then my side hustle. So I was I was just thinking like how what would happen if I just like put all my energy into just one area,
Mm.
right? And then that's why I decided to take a gap year. So the gap year actually started off as a 6 months gap. In fact, it's called a semester break.
Okay.
So I took one semester break and I realized actually I don't have enough like data points. I don't have enough
Yeah. Experience or
experience
yeah.
to say that I can finally quit school.
Yeah.
So I took another one. So that extended to 1 year. And then at the end of the second semester break, I was doing better, but I wasn't like still satisfied
Yeah.
with my results. Then I told the school I want to extend my semester break again. So I took the third one. So in total, it was about one and a half years of break before I actually told the school that I want to stop.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how did you come to that decision? Was it like you hit a financial goal, like you hit number of clients, like and were there any fears involved in that? How do you overcome it? If you want to share a little bit about making that decision.
Yeah, there are a lot of fears, a lot of uncertainty. Yeah, because I think at that point of time I really understood like what is like the life outside there, right? I was trying to sell services and I realized it's not easy.
Yeah.
So I think along the way I realized I needed some form of help. So I bought a few courses, whether it's online, if not it's like if not it's outside coaching. So invested a sum of money and definitely got some results. And of course that gave me a bit of confidence, both from mentors and I think a lot of my clients and a network, a lot of them like kind of encourage me that it's possible. So I think that's a good thing being a part of a good community is that
Yeah.
they know that it's possible and they know that uh, you can also do it. So
Wow.
I think with the fact with the influence of the people around me
Yeah.
and like slowly having those little wins along the way. And of course, I have a financial goal, which I told myself, okay, if I hit this amount by the end of this year, I will quit. So I also did hit that financial goal, which what I set out at the start, which was the 100K mark. So yeah, lor. So I think that was like a green flag for me. But I do understand that there are some uncertainty involved in business, especially when you're like a
Yeah.
young dude,
Yeah.
small company and everything. But I like challenges, so I just took the leap of faith.
Yeah, so I hear as in obviously there were fears involved, right? But I think a few
Yeah.
things like that. I think number one, you invested in a mentor slash coach, right? Somebody who you can guide you right towards the process, right? But I think on another basis is also the fact that you surrounded yourself with people who were at that space, right? Because the honest thing is like for your age, right? If you wanted to leave, right, most people you just go on the streets and ask them, they're like, dude, what the hell are you thinking, man? You should get a degree first and then start a business, right? But the fact that you surrounded yourself with people who are more growth oriented, in my opinion, right? And people who are like, okay, let's do it, right? Let's go for it, right? And that's also part of the reason why you managed to jump on. So that's great. So I guess the next question is, right, I think it's for people who might be starting out, right, whether is it in the marketing space as a side hustle, right, or even as a full-time job. So what do you think right now, right, in terms of observation, where I'm sure you have a lot of different classmates going on, right, a lot of different partners, people in the space, right, what do you think are some of the biggest mistakes, right, that you see people making this space, right? Let's say if you're trying to do marketing as a side hustle or even as a full-time business, what do you think are some of the, in your observation, what are some of the biggest mistakes you see that people are making during this period of time right now?
Okay, I'll start with the marketing space. Or okay, let's say if you're, I think I speak for those who are selling like services.
Yep.
I think I have okay. If I think if you're selling services and it's a skill set that you are generally like quite new, that means you probably don't have like years of experience behind your belt or under your belt. I would say the first step is I think really to, I'd say the biggest mistake is um that they oversimplify things. Even though I understand simplifying things is important, but at least for me when I started out, I thought like because I'm in the space of marketing, like
Yep.
digital marketing specifically. So I
Yep.
thought like I learned a bit of pieces, got a bit of results, and I thought that was it.
Mm.
I thought like that was all to marketing. But I realized as I like read books, listened to podcasts, attended seminars, courses, and I realized there was a lot of like potential, a lot of parts of marketing which I haven't exactly explored.
Yeah.
So I think that was a mistake for me. And of course, with the overconfidence at the start, I tried to acquire more clients, which at the end, not say it didn't get results, but I didn't get the results that maybe met the client's expectation or led to a client that didn't stay for the long term.
Yep.
So at the start, I had a bit of clients, but it wasn't good clients. So it also affected the business. In fact, it slowed me down. So I think that was the one mistake is try to go deep. In fact, I think when you want to go deep in a specific topic, I think so long you spend, I don't think you spend like 10,000 hours to, I think it's a quote, right? 10,000 hours to master it. I don't think you spend 10,000 hours to master. So long, I think you spend at least focus for it for a couple of months. You just like being focused at it. You just post out all distraction, just focus on it. I think you can get to a level of
Mastery.
where yeah, and you can actually like help people get results. So I think that was the first mistake personally I did, because I thought I got results and I thought that was it, and I was like kind of like boasting about it.
Okay.
So looking back, I was kind of foolish. So I realized that there's a lot to learn. I think that was the first mistake. So I think second mistake is I think when starting out, as you get to some traction, as you get some traction, that's where you have to start to hire, you start to grow the business, right? Get more clients, you get higher systems, everything in place. And I think one thing that I was kind of struggling with, I think for a couple of months, that happened to me when I started hiring my first employee.
Yeah.
So my first employee. In fact, at that point of time, it's kind of embarrassing, but I just want to share.
Yeah.
So my first after I got my first 10K month,
Yeah.
my first 10K month, I was kind of like so to speak proud of myself. So I just like went and hire, even though I don't know why am I hiring?
Yeah.
So that was the thing. So I thought expand me a hire, right? So I just went to hire, and I hired two interns, and I think you know them, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, after I hired them, I didn't know exactly like what to do with them. That was the weird thing.
Yeah.
So I hired them. I didn't know what to do with them, and I had a payroll to settle. Uh, so I was kind of lost at that point of time, and and I think that was the first mistake, which is you have to be clear of what your next step is and what is the outcome you're trying to achieve from doing certain things. So I think that was the second thing, which is transition from like your
Yeah.
a solo kind of business,
Yeah. To some
yeah,
extent.
to yeah. And I think the transition is not easy because uh I used, even when I had 2 to 3 kind of team member to 4, I always see the business as myself,
Mm.
right? So the income is all my effort.
Yeah.
But I realized that was the wrong mindset, because if you see that way, then you will still be the bottleneck in the business.
Yeah.
So I think that's the second mistake, which is you have to see. I mean, once you go past certain stage, you have to see the business not as as you, but like the team. So that's why I started really to groom the team, send them for trainings and that kind of thing. So that kind of took me to another kind of mindset lah to approach the business.
Sure.
And I think the third one, the one if I share,
Yeah.
I think the third one is focus. I think really is focus. And I think you and I have our fair share of experiences on focus.
Yeah.
So I think focus is really important. And in fact, I saw this documentary on Warren Buffett and Bill Gates.
Mm.
Like I think I can't remember exactly the story, but
Mm.
both of them, they know each other at the start, right?
Yeah.
And they were like sitting across each other, and I think someone was asking them to write out on a piece of paper what is the most important thing in success. And both of them, without any form of collaboration, they wrote down the word focus. So I think focus is really important. And the reason why I want to bring this up, because at the start I was doing like a lot of things. I was trying to sell agency services. I try to do drop shipping at the same time. I try to do selling videography services at the same time. I was like doing way too much things, and that slowed me down a lot. I think on hindsight, it slowed me down quite a lot, because if I get to drive all the energy and focus into just like one area, I think that could have grown a lot faster. And there was a huge case of shiny object syndrome. Yeah, like it's a, because I was selling services, but on one hand, on internet, on YouTube, everyone they say, oh, go to the online course route. That means you sell
Yeah.
your expertise via online courses. And of course, everyone's saying selling services is not scalable. So
Mm.
so I was like, in between, I was just trying to
Play around.
play around, and then like I just like for one year I just like I don't know where I was going. So I think the third mistake is lack of focus. I mean, I speak for myself, and I think really if you just stick with one model, I think all model works.
Mm.
I think all model works. So long you just stick with it
Mm.
and just ignore the noise, you just shut the doors. I think you do pretty well.
Okay, wow. As in, those are three powerful points, right? Well, I think number one, you said about, I think because of the space, right, and how they try to oversimplify things, right? It's really about the fact that don't be caught up the fact that simple gets you started, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to be world class, or you want to master it, right, you actually need that advanced level of sophistication, right? So not to be complacent with just having that simple or first level of knowledge, right? Number two, you talk about transition, something that I need to work on myself as well, right? About the fact that it's not just about you, right, but it's about you hiring for. I have a quick question for you about that later, which I'll share. But I think number three, I think you also talk about the fact that you got to focus, right? I think actually a lot of people that I work with, I see, right, the people who are super good at what they do is because they actually focus and go all out into it, right? And just by the fact that they don't try to do 10,000 things, but just do one or two things very well, they actually get to a high level with the space, is where you are at right now. So I want to go back to number two, right? So
Yeah.
so because you're pretty young yourself, right? And the people you hire, right, are generally younger than you or around your age, right?
Yeah.
So I understand the people.
One is older, one is the same age.
Okay,
And the two
older.
is
Yeah.
generally it's in the
Yeah.
20s. Yeah.
So I guess for you, right, I'm just curious, what are some of the examples of the traits or characteristics, right, of the people you are looking out for when you hire, especially in this space right now? Because I mean, you are young, right, but at the same time, you also need to work with people who can work with you, who can collaborate with you, right? So what are some of the traits that you you personally look out for, right, when coming to hire people, right? Because I think a lot of people watching this, right, might be like, hey, I don't think I want to be a full-time trainer because I'm not so confident, but maybe I could get into something like being your intern, for example, or working for somebody else who's really successful, right? But what are some of the traits and characteristics, right, that might be needed to get there? So for you, like, what would be some of the things that you would prioritize when you look out for the people that you hire, whether it's intern or full-time, as a full-time job?
I think first, to be completely honest, my first few hires is just very embarrassing. The process was very embarrassing. It's just like, oh, how are you? Because I noticed it's like a bit in the entrepreneurship space or a bit of marketing space. So I said, hey, want to get a Zoom call? Then I like kind of talk and then I hire. So
Yeah,
the first few rounds of hiring was very very bad.
yeah,
Yeah. So back to your question is what do I look out for? What traits do I
yeah,
look out for?
yeah.
Okay, so this also I think in the last few months I was really trying to nail on this and really fine tune on the culture. What exactly am I looking for to build the team? I think the first thing which I'm looking for definitely is someone who is extremely passionate in marketing in general. So I think that's the first thing which I'll look out for, because what I realized, I think even for myself, when I got to marketing, it means when I started being introduced to this whole world of marketing, I realized there was like your very shallow level of just running ads, and then there's a deeper level is which you understand the psychology or even the I think Google has this system called T-shaped marketer, because
Mm,
marketing there is many segments, right? There's like your SEO, paid traffic, organic, like there are multiple views.
yeah,
So I think if you are just concerned with like making money, then probably you won't have the drive to like dive deep
yeah,
so I think the first thing which is I'm looking out for people who are very passionate in their role, because I think they will constantly learn,
go learn.
yeah, and also invest in themselves. I think that's the first thing. Second thing which I'm really looking for in a team member is a problem solver. A
Mm,
problem solver. And I think most employers want this lah, but yeah, I think it's a very generic thing. But I think as I start to hire, I start to grow my team, I realize some of the team members which I value, which this trait which I value a lot is being a problem solver instead of a uh just a problem bringer.
yeah,
So a lot of times when they approach the, let's say, the manager or the project leader, always come to them with problems. So
mm,
what I try to train my or what I look out for, especially when hiring team members, is will they actually, instead of just bringing problems to the team, will they actually bring solutions as well?
mm,
Will they actually bring solutions as well? That means if, let's say, I have this problem but I'm not sure exactly what the solution is, or what's the best solution for this exact problem, the team member can still come up with a certain, maybe 3 to 4 different solutions,
yeah,
and get the team's opinion on it before he decide to move on. So I think that's one thing which all employers or all founders will appreciate, especially a small team,
yeah,
because the one thing which you lack is the bandwidth to think a lot of times.
yeah,
So I think that's one thing which I really appreciate. Second thing, which is, I mean, they really dependent on the role itself. For me, I think because my company focuses on financial education coaches. So I think one of the so-called criteria which I look out for is this person also has to be interested in investing
mm,
and has a bit of financial background. That's one thing which I started to have recently, because I had an intern in the past who didn't exactly had an interest or background in investing. I found that to be quite tough for him to start marketing
get up,
for.
yeah,
So I think that's the third one. I think the fourth one really, it's being to be able to fit into the culture
mm,
of our very small company as a five-man team. So one of our core values as a company is we like to challenge things.
mm,
A short word for it is rebel.
yeah,
So a lot of times when we see, let's say, our previous campaigns is okay, we achieve this kind of results, we always want to try to beat it. Or if there's a certain problem that is just so hard to solve that no one else has solved yet, we always want to challenge that. Okay, that can be solved, and we can achieve these kind of results.
mm,
So this is one of the traits that I'm looking for in a team member, and I think also that kind of goes hand in hand with being a problem solver. Because when you encounter with problems
challenge,
or challenges, you're just naturally inclined to try to find ways to solve it. So
mm,
yeah, and I think one thing interesting about my team so far is almost all of us are dropouts. I think
wow,
almost all. Okay, not exactly dropouts. I'm a dropout.
yeah,
another team member, which you also know, is an NUS law dropout.
Oh, I didn't know it's NUS law. Okay.
Yeah, it's NUS law dropout.
Yeah.
The other one I think went poly, but I think he dropped out also.
Yeah.
The one went to poly, but he didn't continue. So
Yeah.
I think all of them we were something similar, which is
So if you want to join Ted's team, you got to drop out of something. Right? But I agree with you to say that because some people might just say, oh, you got to be hungry, right? But I think you go deeper to the fact that saying that you got to be at least passionate and interested in this thing called marketing, right? Because if you're not, right, then it becomes very painful. As much as you desire to grow, to have money and stuff, right? But if you don't actually enjoy the thing what you're doing, right, it's very tough in the long run, and you will quit eventually, right? And then I think part of what you said about taking initiative, problem solving, right? I think there's a huge thing right now, especially in the space of, let's say, startups, right? Because especially in a small team, right? If everybody just bringing the founder or the CEO problems, right, then it's not going to move as fast, right? But the biggest advantage of a startup, in my opinion, right, is the fact they can move faster, right, than the bigger companies with a lot of processes and fat around there. So I think thanks so much for sharing that. So with that, right, let's move on to the main portion or the main thing of what you do, right? The whole marketing space, right? So we just want to share a very quick introduction of something that you have coined recently, right? That's been catching the digital space by storm, right? The religious conversion method. Let's share a little bit about it, right? And how do you think that it applies to today's world, right? And why do you think that more people should start adopting or embracing this concept called the religious conversion method?
okay. So before I dive a bit deeper into this, a thing which came out of I don't know what. It came out of conversation actually. It didn't I wasn't like brainstorming, finding a name for it, but it just came out of like a conversation. I just want to share a bit of context, how this came about. So I was consulting one of our clients in terms of how to pitch better, in his I think it's 2-day class or his webinar. I can't exactly remember. And I was giving this analogy of religion. I can't remember exactly why I brought it up, but it was the analogy of religion. And then I was trying to, because it was something unique which I hardly talk about. I think it was kind of like in the back of my head, but I haven't intentionally like verbalize it or share it with anybody, because I was like constantly listening to podcasts and everything. So all of these things are like subconscious in my brain. But so happened on that call, I was talking with one of my clients, and I don't know, that concept, that analogy came out of my mouth. And after the call, I called one of my team member and said, hey, I found a name for our method. We call it religion conversion method. So that's kind of interesting. So more in terms of what the method is about. It's okay, imagine a triangle. Imagine a triangle. So there's 3 components to this method. First one is the beliefs. So imagine the top of the triangle this is what belief. Bottom left is perceptions, and third one is proliferations. So proliferations is basically amplifying on something. Right? You proliferate a message, you proliferate your offer, your campaign. And I think I was also guilty of this in the past. A lot of times we overly focus on the traffic side of things. That means you just focus on
getting more
people, more eyeballs. But I think what I realized sooner or later was a lot of my campaigns, we missed out on this thing called beliefs and perceptions. So how I came out exactly with this also is, so let's talk about beliefs, right? How I came up with this segment is I was also diving really deep in terms of trying to understand my clients' audience or prospects. And so we collected a bit of survey, we just also talked to them. And one thing which I realized, especially in the financial education space, is that at least more, if not, I say like probably, I'm just a ballpark figure, maybe 60 to 70% have at least came across one competitor also. Or they're just, at least in the buying process, they're trying to find out, should I go for this course or this course? So at least a big percentage was like comparing at the comparing stage. So what I guess was when a prospect who is this sophisticated, right? He sees your messaging, sees your offer. I think the main reason why this person don't like exactly buy your product or takes a while to buy a product, because doesn't believe that this is the product that can solve his problem or challenges. I think the main issue is beliefs, because I mean think about it. If what you shared on your page or your webinar is that you mentioned that you can solve this problem, you can bring to where you want to be. This is a no-brainer offer. This is extremely cheap. You have no risk on the side. Then why don't he buy, right? And I think a huge part is because there is some element of disbelief that he might be the right coach or he might be the right educator or course for him, right? Because he's probably considering one of many courses out there. So I was trying to dig deeper into like how can we make things a little bit more believable,
Yeah.
and that was where I realized also the market was like very very saturated.
Yeah.
So this element of belief is um I'll do a quick summary here because I think it takes like quite a while to
Yeah.
explain. But the whole essence of this concept is, let's assume, I always use analogy, right? A, B, C, D. So let's say you're in a space, let's say in the financial education space, coaches claim that they can help prospects or people to solve problem A, B, and C,
Yeah.
right? And let's assume that we categorize all problems into these few circles, A, B, and C. But I think the way to stand out really, I mean, if you go into the market and claim that you help your client solve problem A, right? Then there's a very, very low chance that they'll believe you because there's like three other competitors that are saying the exact same thing. So why should they believe you? And will focusing on this problem actually solve my problems, and then get to my solution. So I don't want to credit this thing to myself because I actually found it based on other causes and all that. But I think one of the things that we really try to fine tune ourselves, which eventually arrived at this concept, was beliefs. So I think the way to do it is to, number one, convince your prospects that the real problems lies not in A, B, and C. It lies in something else. We call it D.
Yeah.
So I think once you convince your prospects that okay, D is the real problem that they are facing, right? And then we come up with an offer or a solution that solves problem D,
Yeah.
right? Then you've immediately stood out in the market because no one else out there is solving problem D. Everyone else is solving A, B, C. So I think that's the first component of the religion conversion method, which is really just in one sentence is solving a different problem.
Yeah.
Solving a different problem, but you got to convince that problem is the real problem.
Mm.
So that is the first part of this RCA method, the
Yeah.
region conversion method. So this is on the element of beliefs in short. But the challenge here is that it's very hard to find the idea that you're trying to convince your clients.
Yeah.
So the next one is perception, which I'm really into it. It's more of a behavioral science kind of thing or psychological kind of thing. Is on perception. So it stems from the fact that humans have don't really have a very strong ability to look at things objectively. That means okay, so let's say I'm selling coffee.
Yeah.
Right? That coffee might be Starbucks. It might be the best, most expensive coffee in the world. But if I put in the simple cup like this, I don't think it'll cost. I can't pay. I probably wouldn't pay more than $5 for this because it's so it stems from the fact that people can't look at things objectively. So one example is, let's say I'm trying to sell an expensive car, let's say Porsche. Are you a fan of, let's say Tesla?
Tesla.
Tesla. Is it Tesla?
Yeah.
How much does a Tesla cost?
I think Singapore, if you have to buy it, I think before the sale is like $150,000 if I'm not wrong.
Is it an average like car price?
In Singapore, I think the cheapest model I think is about 150.
150. Okay.
Yeah.
So what about like let's say Toyota, Subaru? Is the price around the same?
Yeah. I'm not a big car person, but I think it's definitely below 100. So maybe about 70.
Okay. So Tesla is like kind of above average.
Yeah.
Okay. So one way. Okay. So back to the topic of perception. If let's say I would sell a Tesla beside a Toyota, a Subaru and whatever cars out there, Tesla will look expensive.
Yeah.
Tesla will look expensive. Okay. But if let's say I'm trying to sell, if I put this Tesla car beside a roadshow of jets, planes, yachts, right? So people who will be shopping there, they will see this car practically like an impulse buy, or the Tesla car, because I'm constantly seeing like a price tag of 2 billion, 3 million, 4 million. And look at Tesla car, oh, it's an impulse buy because it's just 150K.
Yeah.
So it's a topic of perception, right? People have a very poor ability to look at things objectively.
Yeah.
So 150K will not be 150K when placed beside a roadshow of yachts and jets. So that's on topic of perceptions. And I think one campaign which I did for one of our clients, we really banged on that that element of perception, and with the viral campaign which we did for one of our clients, and it was a campaign that we did, which is not just like a ordinary push or traffic and ads. It was actually a viral referral campaign that we did. We spent, I think, like 4K,
Yeah.
and we got back like I think with the back end, I think it's about probably close to 1 million.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
And it's how about how you do the perception, right? How you frame it, right? But I know a little bit about what you did, right? So it was freaking resourceful, it was freaking intelligent, right? But I think what you're saying that how you guys did it is about the fact you framed it to something that's a little bit more powerful or strategic, right? That made people say, hey, it's worth it, right? So let me sign on to it, right? And that's how you got the numbers and the back end and the results and stuff.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit. Do you want me to go deeper about it?
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. Is this live?
No, it's not live. It's not
Okay,
live.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this campaign which we did, okay. So in short, it's a summit.
Yeah.
Okay. Objectively, it's a summit. Objectively. Okay. But the way we sold it is not a summit.
Yeah.
Okay. So the ordinary the usual way of selling summits is, I price the summit at a certain price and I sell it, and then I spend money on Facebook or YouTube try to get people to sign up. So that's the ordinary way. And I think for that particular month, we're just trying to like get a lot of signups at the point of time. But I realized, the usual way of doing webinars is probably a bit tough.
Yeah.
I think because it was a very short span of time, and we didn't really want to use a lot of budget. I forgot for what reason. So I was thinking, okay, if you don't want to use budget, you don't use a lot of budget. Could we use like referral based kind of a summit? So I was thinking of, okay, cool. Let's do a referral campaign with a summit where we gather like a probably like a 4 or 5 hour kind of thing, and then at the end we sell. So that's what I thought, and then this thing popped up in my head. Would people actually share? Because we worked on some viral campaigns together.
Yeah.
Some worked, some didn't work, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking like, how can I increase the chances or the success of this campaign by a lot? So I was thinking about it. In fact, I was kind of like
showering, brainstorming.
Yeah, I was like, my mind was blocked because I was just uncomfortable at the fact that I know if I put just like a normal viral campaign in the back, probably it will not do as well. So I was, I don't know where you heard that from. I think interview with Mel, is it?
Yeah,
I was showering. I was showering. And then idea popped out in my head. So I this is not an original idea, so sad to speak. But this idea came from mainly I think three sources. First one is Clubhouse. So the app Clubhouse. That time it was trending really heavily. Second one is clubs in general. So like pubs, like Zouk, like F Club. This is the second one. Third one is this movie called Syrup. You can go and check it out. It's brilliant. It's called Syrup, SYRUP.
Okay.
So what we did is instead of just trying to sell the summit tickets objectively, that means we just put like a price tag on it. What we did instead was, why not let's try something different, something that that Clubhouse did. I mean the thought process that went through my head was, what if we could get like as much noise as Clubhouse did?
Yeah.
Right. And I was thinking about, if we manage to get that, there'll be a lot of signups and you'll make a lot of money. So I was analyzing and studying like what Clubhouse did, and they were doing I think their strategy was just utilizing, again, it's just like utilizing people's inability to look at things objectively, right? They instead of just selling like, you can join the Clubhouse thing, they put a limit to that. That means, if I'm not wrong, it's like only 8 people can join for one link, right?
Yes.
One link.
Yeah, there's a limit.
Yeah. So they limited it. I mean, that's human's nature. If I limit it, the more I can't have it, the more I want it.
Yeah.
So that's what we did for our clients campaign, is that we framed this whole event as a paid summit. Okay, we framed this whole event as a paid summit. In fact, we actually ran a bit of ads, to show that it's paid. Yeah. So what we did essentially is we gathered our group of customer base. I think at that point in time it was like 1,000-ish, if not 2,000. So we gathered them into a webinar, a Facebook Live or webinar, and we told them we have this event.
Yeah.
And for today only, or for the next 1 or 2 days, you guys get to register for free, right? And you get to bring your friends for free as well. Public has to pay. Okay, so the main essence of this campaign, this summit is two things. Number one is, of course, the summit itself.
Yeah.
But the more important thing which we really focus on is the context in which the summit is being held.
Yeah.
Right? So one is a summit, the other one is the context in which the summit is being held and sold. So we really focus on the context. And
The exclusivity, right? The fact that it's
yeah,
free for a while. Yeah.
exclusivity.
Damn.
So we actually do. So okay, the challenging part about this campaign was the believability of this context, right? We have to really nail down the context. If the context looks fake, if the context looks like, or if people don't see the context at all, it wouldn't be effective.
Yeah.
So even bulk of our efforts were really trying to nail down on the context in which the summit is held. That's why we ran ads to ran ads on Facebook to show that the summit was paid. In fact, but it's not like a fraud. It's not fraud.
Yeah,
Because
it's actually paid, right? Yeah.
people actually paid for, like, quite a number of people actually paid for the event. So yeah, I mean that's what we did, and I think the effect was that people, I think the referrals became easier, or the shareability became easier. So one thing which I also was studying before coming on this campaign was this thing called social currency. Social currency. People don't share things. People only share things which make them look good, or cool, or funny, right? So we were thinking, the usual way of doing summits, you just put a viral loop or up viral kind of thing at the back. Even the share, probably it will not make them look good, right? But if they share something that makes them look good, in a sense that, if with my link you can actually join this for $47 summit for free, people will be more than happy to share. Right? So it's just a matter of perspective and context. So we're just heavily whacking on the context. And I can't remember exactly the stat because it's quite a while back. I think we had 2,000 over referral leads. And I think the whole team was really proud, because I think we're spending on ads. If you want to get 2,000 referral leads, 2,000 leads on, let's say, Facebook, they're probably like 20K at least.
At least, especially during this period, man. So thanks for sharing, man. I think like for those who are watching, right, you should rewind all the way back, right, all the way to the we started about RCA and just rewatch it again, right? Because I think the things we share here, right, is what people will pay very good money for, right? Some people here watching are like, what did I just hear, man? But I think for those who get it, right, I think they can really use the potential and the power, right, of what you just shared, right? So I think some people need to really pause this video and to breathe, right, to capture the essence of what you just shared, because it's really very powerful. So thanks so much for sharing, bro. I didn't expect you to come over and to review it, right? But I think this was so powerful about what you just shared, man. So with that, right, we have come to close to the end of the interview, right? I guess with that, right, in mind, right, any last words you have for the audience, right? And with the fact that I think with this final question, right, is what would you do, right, in the first 30 days, right, if you had to start completely from scratch again? That means whether it be an entrepreneur, a side hustle, right, what will you do, what you work on, right, to start all the way from scratch, right, to not only be back to where you are today, but actually to bounce and go beyond the current success that you have now? Like, what's some of the exceptional tips you would do for yourself?
I think what I will do is, I think number one is focus. So focus, that means I'll just stick with one way of, let's say, conducting a business. I'll just stick with it for the long term. That means I'll not be distracted. I try not to be distracted by other things, other become business. I think that's the first thing I'll do, is just pick one and focus. I think second one is stick to the basics. That means stick to the foundations. And the reason why I want to share this is because along the way there's a lot of shiny objects, and I was like guilty of it. So I was like kind of like just bouncing here and there. But I would say focus on the basics, because I mean, like the business. I mean, a business is just, so long you solve a problem for a particular group of audience, you get paid. Like, that's the essence of business, and you just scale on that. And I think what I realized I did previously was I was trying to focus too much on the advanced stuff, right? And the problem with advanced stuff is, if you don't understand it well enough, you cannot diagnose back like what went wrong.
The foundations,
So I genuinely think, like, you just focus on the basics of the business, you can do pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that will be the two things.
Yeah, really on the, I think what you said just about really focusing, right? But I think a lot of people get caught up right now. Even in investing finance, I don't know, right? In just the past 3 months, right? There's such NFTs came out yesterday. I
Yeah.
was watching a video about Big Cloud right now, right? Lisa talked about it. Peng just did a video about it. Like, there's so much new shiny things, right? So I think the ability to focus, right, is going to be a much bigger challenge. But the people who can really focus, right, are going to be the people who actually dominate in the next way for the world, right? So thanks for sharing about that. So with that, right, Ted, where can my audience find you? And any just any quick final words before we end off the interview?
I'm generally quite inactive on social media because I'm trying to focus. I'm trying to focus on the things that mostly But if you want to connect with me or some sorts, you can head over to my Facebook profile. My name is Thaddeus Koh with an A in between the D and E.
Okay.
So yeah, THADDAEUSKOH. So you can find me there and have a chat. Yeah.
All right, great. So thanks again so much, Ted. This was some really powerful stuff. I think we haven't went this advanced in a while in terms of strategies, right? So I think people who watch it can really make use of it, right? If not, for the rest of watching, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again for the next edition of the Master Mentors interview. Thanks, Ted.